IMS Chathrand. You hear names like the Great Ship or Wind Palace, and you sort of get an idea, but it's hard to grasp the scale.
Oh, it really is.
We're talking about a vessel that was, for all intents and purposes, a moving monument to the Arquali Empire.
Yeah.
6 centuries it floated.
6th century.
And its size. Get this. The mainmast was so thick it took 3 grown sailors just to link arms around it.
Right.
And the sails, her square sails, were bigger than Queen's Park back in Etherboard.
The whole park. It's just staggering. And that magnificence is really why the public notice was such a shock, a trauma even.
Yeah, the one in the Etherboard Mariner.
Exactly. Dated 6th Umbran 941, it announced the impossible. The Chathrand, with all 800 souls on board, was gone, feared lost at sea.
And this is a ship that had, survived every major war, every typhoon for centuries?
Everything the Alfrost seas could throw at it, yeah. And then supposedly it vanishes in what the official report called a mildest of summer squalls.
That phrase alone, it screams cover-up, doesn't it? Mildest of summer squalls. It's an insult to everyone's intelligence.
It's a total contradiction, and it only got worse. What they actually recovered just fanned the flames. Some floating debris. 1 longboat.
A few bodies washed up near Telturi. That was it.
That was it. So, of course, the city went into a frenzy. There was only one conclusion people could draw.
Revenge.
Revenge. Foul play. The Empire's greatest symbol had been sabotaged.
But when you look at the logistical prep for this voyage, the story gets even stranger.
It really does, because this wasn't just a standard trade mission, not by a long shot. When she left port at Sorcerer, she wasn't loaded for a couple of months.
No, she was packed for 6 solid months at sea without making landfall once.
Right, which tells you she was heading way beyond typical imperial waters. I mean, we're talking across the ruling sea, maybe even into the crownless lands.
So this was never about trade.
Never. It was a military and political operation hiding in plain sight.
And that is what we're going to get into today. This is our deep dive. We're going to go beneath that official story, because it's not just one conspiracy.
No, it's 3.
3 completely separate, deeply layered plots that all just smashed into each other on the decks of this one ship, turning this floating palace into a time bomb.
You've got the Emperor's grand scheme, a desperate personal betrayal, and then this ancient magical threat that just rears its head.
It's an incredible story, so let's unpack it.
All right, so to really get the main political conspiracy, you have to start with the man in charge of the ship itself, Captain Nihilus Rothaby Rose.
The commander.
The commander, known for being on that ship forever, but also notorious for his temper, just incredibly volatile.
There's that one story, right? The hiccup story.
Oh, yeah. The sources are very clear on this. He had a sailor flogged, and I mean savagely flogged, just for getting the hiccups during a formal dinner.
Wow.
That kind of petty, just arbitrary cruelty, that was his command style.
So he's a total powder keg. But what's fascinating is the price the Emperor was willing to pay to get him on board for this final mission.
An incredible price. Emperor Magad V was, well, he was convinced this was his moment. His astrologers told him this was his hour of destiny.
So he was all in.
Completely. This mission would either make him the greatest prince in Alafrose, or it would break him. So getting Rose's absolute unquestioning loyalty was everything. And the cost was just staggering.
And it wasn't just money.
No, not at all. Magad V gave him a lifetime governorship of Quezons, a very rich territory. He gave him the title of Viscount. But then it gets darker.
Yeah.
The sources confirm he was also guaranteed 3 unwed or, quote, purchasable girls for his personal use, with another, quote, of superior beauty to be sent every 5 years from this exclusive academy.
The Lorg Academy. Just the level of moral bankruptcy there just to secure one captain's loyalty.
It tells you how high the stakes were. You don't pay a price like that unless the mission is, well, treasonous.
Which brings us to the actual mission. The black goal, as the sources call it.
And that goal was, at its heart, brutally simple. Sail to the edge of the known world, deliver a secret cargo, drop off a massive amount of treasure, and then start a war.
A civil war, specifically. Among them Zithrin.
Exactly. The Empire's oldest rivals. The goal was pure strategic chaos. Let them tear themselves apart from the inside.
And the treasure was the spark for that fire.
A huge spark. We're talking 18 million gold cockles, plus 4 chests of bloodstone.
That seems like an unbelievable amount of money to just give away. Why not use it to fund your own army?
Because the money was bait. And the Chathrand was designed to be the smoking gun that would disappear. Rose's final, most important order was to destroy all evidence of imperial involvement, and that meant sinking the ship, specifically starting a fire beneath the powder room to make sure nothing was left.
Total annihilation. The ship itself was the tomb for the whole conspiracy.
Precisely. The treasure starts the fire, and the ship's destruction covers the Empire's tracks.
So to pull this off, you need a cover story. A really good one.
And they had one. The official mission was diplomatic. The ship was carrying Ambassador Thasha Isiq and his daughter, Thasha.
The Treaty Bride.
The Treaty Bride, yeah. She was sailing to be married to a Mzithrini prince, Prince Felthrup, a marriage that was supposed to guarantee the Great Peace.
Perfect cover. A mission of peace to hide a mission of war.
The best kind of cover. But the Emperor wasn't taking any chances. The ship was crawling with his agents.
Triple-crossing spies.
You got it. The first was Sandor Ott, the Emperor's own spymaster. He was on board disguised as Shtel Nagin, the commander of the ambassador's honor guard.
So he's there to keep an eye on everyone, make sure the plane goes off without a hitch.
That was his job, yes.
Yeah.
But this is where the first big betrayal comes in. Ott had his own agenda.
Right.
He was using this whole high-stakes mission as his personal escape plan. His real goal was to run away with his lover, Thasha Isiq, the ambassador's consort.
So he's playing both sides, enforcing the Emperor's will while planning to exploit the chaos for himself.
And Captain Rose, for all his flaws, was no fool. He knew Ott was a snake. So he got himself some leverage.
Blackmail.
A beautiful piece of blackmail. Ott told Rose that if anything happened to him, letters he'd already sent would expose the entire Mzithran war plot to the Emperor's rivals.
So the spy is being blackmailed by the captain he's supposed to be spying on.
It's wonderfully cynical, but Ott wasn't the only muscle on board.
No, you had the Turax security force. The real enforcers.
Led by Sergeant Redick, a man they called the Throat Cutter.
Charming.
Right. These were the Emperor's elite killers, disguised as regular Marines. Their job was simple. Guard the gold, and make damn sure Captain Rose followed his orders and sank the ship when the time came.
Redick was Rose's leash.
A very short, very sharp leash. But the real key to the whole plan, the secret that drove everything, was the cargo.
The secret cargo. His nastiness.
His nastiness. This was the Shagat Ness, a Mzithran king, a very powerful one.
Who was supposed to be dead.
Officially, yes. The history books all say he drowned when his ship, the Felthrup, went down during the Second Sea War back around the year 900.
But he wasn't dead. He was a prisoner.
A prisoner for decades. The Emperor had him stashed away in a statue-like state on this secret prison island, Licharog. An island so secret that just knowing its name was a death sentence.
And Rose's own journal confirms this. He saw the Shagat, saw the guards treating him like a god, even while he was raving about things like fresh rabbits and returning to power with these two artifacts.
The Nilstone and Sathic's scepter?
Yeah, so they moved this living political weapon from his prison onto the Chathrand.
And that transfer is so telling. His prison was this bizarre, opulent fortress. Lemon trees, a spice garden, but the prisoner himself was clearly mad and dangerous. And when Ott, the spymaster, finally meets him...
He makes a statement.
A brutal one. He physically attacks the caged king, cuts off his earlobe, a grotesque, unforgettable message.
You are not a king, you are bait.
You are bait. You exist only to make your people bleed.
It's a chilling plan. A caged king, a mountain of gold, and a magnificent ship all being sent to the bottom of the ocean with 800 souls just to start a war.
And that's just the top layer. What's happening in the world of the humans? It gets so much more complex when you go below deck.
Okay, so let's shift focus. We've got the Emperor and his spies, but the real heart of this story, in many ways, is a young tarboy named Pazel Pathkendle.
He's our way in, really, our unlikely hero. He's Ormali, so he's basically a political prisoner of Arquali since the invasion in 36.
And he's just trying to survive, find his family, his mother and sister.
Suthinia and Nada, he has no idea where they are. But Pazel isn't just any tarboy. He has this gift.
This strange linguistic ability.
Right. During these intense mind fits, as the sources call them, he can suddenly read and understand ancient dead languages. The ixchel, Agronga. Languages no one has spoken for centuries.
Which on a 600-year-old ship full of secrets is probably not a good thing to have.
It's incredibly dangerous. He finds this out almost immediately. He sees the ship's nameplate, the builder's blessing, and just reads it aloud in perfect ancient Arquali.
And it's not some nice little Godspeed message.
Yeah, no. It's a prophecy and a curse. It says, "Night alone can claim me when it claims the earth. Then dry shall I sleep in the underdepths beside my stolen children."
My stolen children. Wow. That's heavy. It's not about a storm, it's about something cosmic.
It is. And this gift of his, this ability to read the past, it doesn't just put him in danger with the ship's crew, it makes him an existential threat to an entire hidden civilization living on the ship.
The clan of the Crawleys.
The ixchel, that's what they call themselves.
Right.
They're a small, intelligent, and very endangered species, and humans despise them.
They have some pretty awful names for them.
Crawleys, sewer-sipping grubs, I mean, just vile stuff. Their leader is a female named Deadrilu, or Dry, and her clan on the Chathrand has 480 members.
480, hiding on one ship. That's an incredible feat of logistics.
Huh? It is. They are on a desperate mission of their own, trying to reach a place they call Sanctuary Beyond the Sea.
But their biggest secret is how they communicate.
It is. They talk constantly, complex conversations, but their voices are silent. To human ears, anyway.
But not to Pazel.
Not to Pazel. During his mind fit, he could hear them as clearly as if they were shouting in his ear.
Which makes him a catastrophic threat to their survival.
A monster, one of them calls him. Talectrum, Dry's nephew. He immediately wants Pazel dead. He's a giant with ixchel ears.
And if the humans find out about them, they'll just, gas the lower decks?
That's the fear, a mass extermination. But Dre, the leader, she's more cautious, more calculating.
She sees Pazel as also a prisoner. And Ormali.
Exactly. She thinks maybe his hatred for the Empire is stronger than his hatred for her people. It's a huge gamble.
So the ixchel aren't just hiding, they're active. They're running operations.
Very high-risk operations. They managed to infiltrate Captain Rose's private cabin, a place that was completely off-limits to almost everyone.
Why? What were they after?
They were there to rescue one of their own, a kinsman named Steldak.
And Steldak's job on the ship is just... it's horrifying.
It's awful. He was Captain Rose's personal poison taster.
So Rose is so paranoid he's going to be assassinated that he's using a creature he considers vermin to check his food.
Yes. And while he's worried about a drop of poison in his wine, this entire secret society is moving right under his feet. But the rescue, it comes at a cost.
Steldak tells them that Dry's brother,
Dry's noble brother, one of their princes, was killed during the rescue. A huge loss for the clan.
it just shows you the stakes for them. Every single move is life or death. But they're not the only other intelligent life down there, are they?
No. There's also Felthrup Stargraven.
The woken rat.
The woken rat. Most of the rats on the ship are what he calls sleepwalkers, just running on instinct. But
Yeah.
Felthrup, he's different. He has consciousness, memory, self-awareness.
And he struggles with it, right? He's afraid of losing himself to his more base, rat-like instincts.
Constantly. He asks himself, who is Felthrup? Rat, freak, monster, man, he is utterly unique. And because of that, he understands threats in a way the other rats can't.
Which leads him to warn the ixchel about a conspiracy brewing in the rat warrens,
The third conspiracy, yeah. This one led by a rat named Master Mugster.
who is described as, fanatically religious
Yeah,
and evil.
profoundly evil. And Mugster has one single-minded goal. He wants to kill Captain Rose.
But not just kill him, there's a ritualistic element to it.
A very specific, gruesome detail. He wants to eat the captain's tongue.
What?
Because, in his twisted rat religion, Rose is a false priest, and Mugster believes that by eating his lying tongue, a prophecy will be fulfilled and 1,000 eyes will open.
Okay, that sounds like crazy rat talk, but the ixchel take it very seriously.
You'd have to, because if Mugster and his followers cause a big enough problem, like, say, attacking the captain, the human crew will react with overwhelming force.
Sulfur gas.
Sulfur gas. They'll flood the lower decks to kill all the rats, and in doing so, they would kill every single one of the 480 hidden ixchel.
So the survival of this entire hidden civilization depends on stopping one fanatic rat from eating the captain's tongue.
It's incredible, isn't it? The grand political schemes of the Emperor are constantly at risk of being completely derailed by the secret wars and survival plots happening in the darkness below. It's all connected.
All right, so let's move from the hidden world in the ship's bilge to the very visible, very powerful world of magic that's steering this whole thing. And that really centers on Thasha.
Thasha Isiq, the Freedy Bride. Yeah, she is absolutely not some helpless pawn in all this. She has this very strange, very powerful circle of protectors.
On the one hand, you have Hercule, who seems sort of normal, I guess. A warrior disguised as a dance tutor.
A bit odd, but okay. But then you have Ramakni Fremkin.
Ramakni is a rat wizard.
A rat wizard from the Sunken Kingdom who is currently disguised as a black mink.
A rat wizard in a mink costume.
Okay.
So right away, we know we are far beyond standard imperial politics.
We are in a different reality, literally. And Ramakni introduces this idea that just blows the whole thing wide open. The multiverse.
This is the observatory.
The observatory.
Yeah.
Thasha shows Pazel how to get there. It's an inch-wide pipe inside a hinged clock in her cabin.
And the pipe, it seems to go through the walls, but it also doesn't exist outside the clock.
Right. Ramakni explains it leads to the mountains of another world, a place with a glass house full of trees on a snowy peak.
So the stakes just went from geopolitical to cosmic.
Completely. And Ramakni's presence, his ability to move between these worlds, is directly tied to the danger from two specific magical artifacts, and one very dangerous book.
The Nilstone, the Red Wolf, and the 13th Polylex.
Let's start with a book. Thasha has a copy of the 13th edition of the Merchant's Polylex. This thing is legendary and illegal.
Because the author, Pazel Pathkendle, was executed for writing it.
Executed horribly, tied to a dead mule and thrown into the sea. And why? Because he told the truth. He exposed the Empire's deepest, darkest secrets.
We're talking massive slave trading profits, illegal chemical weapons.
Naming specific massacres, and most importantly, revealing the existence of the prison island, Licharog, the place where the Shaggot was held.
So just owning this book is a death sentence, and the treaty bride is carrying it with her.
It's a manual of imperial treason, and it's that book that connects to the first artifact. A man named Chadfallow, who used to protect Pazel, had warned the ambassador, beware the Nilstone.
A cursed rock. Horrible power.
And it was supposed to have gone down with the Laythra, the Shaggot's ship, decades ago.
Which brings us to artifact number 2, the Red Wolf.
The whole reason there was a recent raid on the Laythra wasn't for gold, it was for this, a very specific item, an iron wolf red in color with a forepaw raised.
And the person who organized that raid
Was Isiq's new valet, a man calling himself Mr. Ket?
who was not a valet.
Not even close. He's Arunis, the Shaggot-Ness's personal mage, a man everyone thought was hanged 40 years ago.
So like his king, he's cheated death, and he's back.
And he put together this whole mission to get the wolf back. He hired mercenaries, kidnapped divers, including Pazel and his friend Neeps, and had a very clean exit strategy.
The poison pills.
Lacquer-coated poison pills, designed to dissolve in 10 days. Long after the job was done, everyone would just die. No witnesses, no loose ends.
But Chadfallow and Hercule stopped them.
They did. They intercepted Arunis' ships, rescued Pazel and Neeps, and then had to administer this. Just horrific cure.
The oil of Grobroot.
Which is described as the caviar of emetics. Basically, it made them vomit up these powdered glass pills before they could dissolve.
Just brutal.
Incredibly brutal. But Arunis got away with the Red Wolf, and now his true plan becomes clear. He's going to use it to bring the Shaggot Nest back to life.
And here's where the magical and the political plots just lock together perfectly.
They become completely dependent on each other. Because the old prophecy says that for the Shaggot's resurrection to work, Thasha must marry a Mzithrini prince.
So Arunis needs the Emperor's fake peace mission to succeed. He needs that wedding to happen.
He needs the wedding because it's the magical key that unlocks his master's return. It will trigger the exact war Magadvi wants, but it will be a war fought on Arunis' terms to restore Mzithrini power.
The two conspiracies need each other to work.
And we get a sense of the raw power Arunis is playing with. When he starts the ritual, he melts the red wolf in a forge. And as the iron turns to liquid,
it howls.
An enormous and urgent wolf's howl. It's not just sound, it's a wave of magical energy. The ship isn't just carrying a political prisoner anymore. It's carrying forces that can scream across worlds.
So now we're at the point of collision. The Chathrand is sailing near Simja, and all of these plots, the political, the magical, the personal, they're all about to converge.
And Arunis makes his move. Now that he has the power of the Red Wolf, he tries to seize control of the entire operation. First thing he does is create this supernatural dead calm.
He just stops the ship, a vessel the size of a small town just trapped in the water.
Exactly. Then he approaches on a small boat, being rowed by a man named Druffle, a freebooter he's put under a magical charm.
And the way he presents his threat is pure psychological horror.
It's necromancy. It's grotesque. He shows them his trophies from the wreck raid, the body parts of the mercenaries he used. Feet, fingers, heads.
And he smears them on the mainmast.
He does. He claims that's the source of the terrible smell that follows him, that it's what draws the gulls. It's a pure power play.
Just the most repulsive display imaginable. But Ramakni, the rat wizard, is ready for him.
Hiding as a mink, yes. He speaks through Hercule, the dance tutor, and says one word, Hegnos.
And that one word What does it do?
It's powerful enough to temporarily shatter Arunis' charm on Druffle. The freebooter just snaps out of it, and he turns on Arunis with pure white-heart rage for being used like a puppet.
So Arunis has to deal with that. He freezes Druffle with a spell.
And then he escalates. He reveals his trump card, the second artifact, the Nilstone.
Which looks like a crystal sphere.
A crystal sphere that he plans to load into a cannon and use as a dragon's egg shot.
A magical cannonball.
A cursed, reality-bending cannonball powerful enough to sink the Chathrand in an instant if they don't give him what he wants.
Which puts the Emperor's agents in an impossible position.
A terrible moral dilemma. Balutu, the ship's vet, who, it turns out, is another high-level secret agent, he tells Thasha sinking the ship might be the only option.
Paradoxically, letting Arunis win might be the only way to stop the massive war he's trying to start. Mass casualties now to prevent greater bloodshed later.
It's an awful choice. But before they can even make it, the Turaks step in.
Drellerick, the throat cutter.
He sees all this magic, all this chaos, and he just cuts right through it. For him, the only thing that matters is the mission, the Emperor's will.
So he takes control of the ship.
Total control. He doesn't care about prophecies or mages. He goes down to the hold, chains the Shaggot statue up tight, and declares the mission is back on track.
Thasha will marry the prince, they will fake the shipwreck as planned, and they will sail on to start the Civil War.
The Imperial machine just grinds forward, completely indifferent to the magical chaos.
And right after this confrontation, everything starts to unravel. We get confirmation of the plot.
From the quartermaster, Pfiffengert. In his private journal, he writes about this chilling discovery he made in the hold. A hidden stash of debris.
Broken masts, torn sails with the ship's name on them, a snapped life preserver.
The whole kit, a pre-packaged shipwreck, proving the plan to make the Chathrand disappear was baked in from the very beginning.
His journal just ends mid-thought.
It cuts off as he hears the cry from the deck, "Man adrift!"
And that man is Druffle. The freebooter Arunis threw overboard.
And he's found sitting on a body, a corpse in a black cloak. And Steldak, the ixchel poison taster, confirms who it is from below.
It's Druth's brother, the ixchel prince who died trying to rescue him.
The plots intersect, even in death, and this is where we see Captain Rose's true character.
He just abandons them.
Abandons them. He's not risking his mission for a wormy corpse, as he calls it. The success of the Emperor's plan is the only thing that matters. All decency is gone.
And in the end, the Imperial agents all fall in line. Even Chadfallow, who fought Arunis.
He sides with Drellerick. The Emperor's will be done. He chooses the controlled chaos of the Empire's war over the unknown chaos of Arunis' magic.
It's a cold, pragmatic choice.
It is. And then there's this quiet philosophical moment. Ramachni, the mink wizard, frees Sandor Oxfalcon, Niravel.
The spy master's falcon.
And he tells the bird, a creature bred for loyalty, to choose real freedom. He says Niravel has to break the bonds itself, because Arquali is not the world.
Which mirrors Ott's own betrayal, choosing his personal freedom over his duty.
It's the beginning of the end for the spy master. And then there's Pazel. He's left with a permanent reminder of all this.
The wolf scar.
The wolf scar. A splash of the molten iron from the red wolf seared his palm. He is now physically branded by this magic, forever connected to it.
Okay, so let's step back for a second and try to synthesize all of this.
Yeah.
The Chathrand was just this incredible masterpiece of deception.
It really was. You have the ship carrying ancient magic, a king's ransom and treasure, and literally two secret populations, the ixchel and the Woken Rats, all heading for the same disaster.
At the very top, you have the Emperor's plot. Pure cynicism. Use a captured king to start a civil war among your enemies.
A plot guarded by his most brutal killers, the Turaks. And then, nested inside that, you have Sandor Ott's personal plot, his betrayal, using this massive state conspiracy as cover to run away with his lover.
And then weaving through all of that, you have the ancient magical thread of Arunis, the sorcerer who needs the Emperor's political plan, the wedding, to actually work, so he can resurrect his king and start his own much bigger war.
It's just layer upon layer, and all the while you have the quiet resistance, the hidden people, Dry and the ixchel just fighting to survive, and the kids, Pazel and Thasha, guided by a rat wizard and a dance tutor, trying to untangle it all.
And here's the real kicker, the true sort of aha moment in all of this, the marriage itself.
Right.
Isiq and Thasha, they hate it. They see it as this hollow political farce for a peace that isn't real.
But it was. Chadfallow reveals that the marriage was a genuine condition of a real peace effort. Both sides, Arquali and the Mizithran, They actually wanted peace after decades of war.
So the tragedy is that this tiny, fragile hope for genuine peace was being carried on a ship that was specifically designed and loaded to guarantee war.
The agents of peace were sailing on a bomb, a political bomb and a magical bomb all at once.
And the mission isn't over. Greleric is in control. The Chathrand is still sailing. It's carrying the chained Shaggot Ness, guarded by the very soldiers who are cheering for the war he's meant to start.
They're still going to fake the wreck. They're still going to cross the ruling sea and try to fulfill the Emperor's original dark plan.
And they are sailing straight for the Nellarok vortex, a storm that even Captain Rose was terrified of.
And you have that prophecy, the Builder's blessing. Night alone can claim me, then dry shall I sleep in the underdepths, beside my stolen children.
So here's the final thought for you to ponder. This ship is now carrying a live magical artifact in the Nilstone, a resurrected warrior king in its hold, and a young man branded with the wolf scar. What happens to this ship, this bomb, this lifeboat, this monument, when it finally meets that storm and fulfills its destiny?